Hello, everyone. September is coming to a close. So I just wanted to do something new, something different before October starts. And I settled on sharing some of my script. I'm making it public, which is a little bit scary, but it will help me become more comfortable with putting my stories out there. So I'm going to switch to screen sharing and read through some of the script, but I will give you a bit of a backstory before. So the script is called BTW, I'm an Alien. And this script helped get me through the pandemic. It was a healthy distraction from all of the craziness going on and still going on. It became medicine for my mental health. And I was able to process and manage my emotions better because of this script. So my hope is that sharing it will help other people put a smile on their face and help get them through the rest of this year, because we're going to be dealing with the pandemic for the rest of this year. So yes, I'm sharing it to bolster my confidence with putting things out into the public, but also when people like you are going to potentially listen to it and read it, a different part in my brain turns on and I'm more critical of my work, which helps me edit and improve it. So I might edit it live as I'm reading through it because my brain just keeps thinking, okay, what if this person says that? What if they think this? So then I'll just be like, let me improve it. The only other reason I'm sharing it is also so that you get to know me more and hear my voice as a writer. This script has been very tricky to communicate to people because it's based on the idea that we're living in a multiverse and there's a parallel reality to this one. And so with the teaser, someone told me it's too much of telling rather than showing, but I don't feel like they realized what I was actually showing. And so I'm taking a very famous moment and switching it up a little bit and putting that as the teaser for the script in order to showcase that it's a parallel reality rather than just saying, hey, we're living in a parallel reality in this script. No one wants it to be that on the nose. So I'm taking the last show of The Daily Show with Ron or Jon Stewart. I said Ron just because his name is Ron in the script. And him passing on The Daily Show to Trevor Noah. Anyone who followed The Daily Show knows of that moment. And so I want to hint at it to make people be like, that sounds familiar. Or this scene reminds me of The Daily Show. And so I have to put some moments that happen in our reality into the script to communicate that it's a parallel reality. Also, it's a dramedy. So it's meant to be a little bit funny with a bit of drama, and I'm setting the tone and putting some jokes in there. So I'm really happy with the teaser. I could just put it as in slow-mo, a character walks onto the stage and he's greeted by Ron. They shake hands and we hear a voiceover say, and now I pass along the Daily Show or the Daily Today Show to Travis Norrie. And then we see them shaking hands. We hear the audience clapping and cheering and taking pictures. And that's all I would need to really show in order for people to understand, okay, Travis Norrie is taking over this show. But that's not all I'm trying to show. That's really secondary. I'm trying to showcase that it's a parallel reality by showcasing a familiar scene and familiar dialogue. And I'm also showcasing that we're going to get the backstory of the main character. We're going to see who he is off screen, off camera, because a lot of people know Trevor Noah and Jon Stewart on TV, but we don't follow their whole life day in and day out. So it's meant to get into the behind the scenes and give you a peek inside his life and how hard it was for him to take over the show. So, yes, it's based off of a parallel reality, but more specifically, it's based off of the idea that Trevor Noah has a parallel self called Travis Norrie. And this script is about him, Travis Norrie, and his life once he finds out that there are aliens insidiously assimilating Earthlings into their Lucidolite culture. Yes, yeah. So let's switch to screen sharing, and I will read. There it is. BTW, I'm an Alien. Episode 1. Daily Today Show. Teaser. Fade in. Interior, Daily Today Show studio. Night. Backstage, Travis Norrie, 31, a white/black South African man, watches as Ron Stewie, 50, Caucasian man, addresses the camera from behind a wooden desk. Murmurs from the front carry to the back as Travis, with a flushed face, gulps. He bounces on his toes, psyching himself up, then sharply exhales, shifts his shoulders, and smiles. I'm going to pause because I want to highlight this part. Trevor Noah, I've noticed, when he's outside of his element, he shifts his shoulders when he's on other people's shows. I've seen it on The View. I've seen it on James Corden. When he's on The Daily Show, he doesn't really do this that much, but I've noticed when he's outside of his regular environment, he does this shifty shoulder thing. So I put it into the script just to actually have his mannerism there. But the psyching himself up by bouncing on his toes, that's something I did. And so I'm putting myself in the scene a little bit, but I'm also trying to make it not so blatant that it's Trevor Noah. And when we get into the dialogue, just be aware that I do not do accents like he does, so I won't be able to do it justice. Moving along. At the front, an audience listens with sad faces, and some are teary-eyed, but all focus on Ron. On stage, a thumbnail of correspondence waving fades to the side of Ron's face. Ron Stewie. It's unto a dream. That's what this feels like. An incredible dream. And I'm going to miss, and this is where Ron takes a moment as he fights back tears. Audience member OS, we love you, Ron. Audience claps. Ron Stewie. Yeah. This show's been the greatest gift, and I want to thank you and you for that. Audience cheers. Travis slowly steps out into the shadowy background of the stage. Ron karate chops the desk. Ron Stewie. I think of my career as a long conversation, mainly because it takes away finality. This show isn't ending. We're merely taking a pause in the conversation. A conversation, by the way, I admit, I've monopolized. The audience snickers, then roars as they see Travis appear behind Ron with a measuring tape. Travis stretches it out and measures the desk. Apologies. Been one-sided mostly, eh? Should have turned the camera around and asked, do you have anything to add? Hilarity. Travis measures Ron's chair. Travis Norrie under breath. 16 by 18. The audience's laughter increases as Ron turns around. Travis snoring. Oh, sorry. I thought I'll just. Travis points to the left and exits the stage. Laughter. Ron wraps his fingers on the desk and fiddles with papers. I'm going to pause really quickly because that, when I think of Jon Stewart, the memories I have of him are of that mannerism. Him wrapping his fingers on the desk, fiddling around the papers, and also swiveling back and forth in his chair. And so I wanted to put that in there. Ron Stewie. My point is nothing ends. Like energy, it just cycles into something new. This is the final production of the Ron Stewie Show, but not the Daily Today Show. And so it's with great sadness, but also great conviction, I pass this show on to Travis Norrie. Daily Today Show intro music plays, which I don't really know what it would be. Maybe doom de loom loom, bloop bloop, doom de loom loom, wop wop. I have no idea. Travis brings back on stage with the measuring tape hanging out of his pant pocket. He waves to the audience as they cheer and clap. Ron Stewie. He'll earn your respect, or not, just like I've been honored with your respect for years. Or not, at least give him a chance to earn it. They shake hands. Ron stands and pulls Travis to him, whispers in his ear, "You belong here," points at his chair, "It's yours." Travis eases into the chair, louder cheers. Travis's smile widens. Ron faces the camera. Rather than say goodbye, I'll just say, come back, or rather, come get a drink so we can see one another before I leave. Ron bows. Travis Norrie. Give it up for Ron Stewie, everybody. Travis stands and claps, a standing ovation from the audience as Ron sashays off the stage. The production crew gathers around Ron. They dance together with tears and grins. So this moment is reminiscent of the actual moment of the last episode of the Jon Stewart show, the Daily Show with Jon Stewart. And then we go into mainly Travis for the rest of the script. A glow in the production light. Travis faces the camera and puts his fingertips together. Travis Norrie, an old English accent, which I will not be able to do. And as your new king, from henceforth, the show shall be called Dun 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 Daily. Amid giggles, Travis hears cameras clicking and their lights flashing from the audience. Travis Norrie, yes, take pics, then pocket them phones. Think you gotta have proof or your friends won't believe you? Well, that's because you've got shitty friends. Or are you the shitty ones? Rubbing it in? Oh yeah, wish you were here. Psychos. Cacaconation. Travis spots people pose/contort to get Ron in the shot as he waves goodbye. One wears an alien t-shirt. Over their phones, Travis imagines emojis dancing in the air. Sad face emoji with hashtag love you, Ron? Am I watching a new language evolve? Oh shit. Emojis are the Neanderthal drawings of 2015. We judge them for being simple, but once, boom, gasps. Civilization is wiped out, probably by aliens. Years from now, someone's gonna see your message and be like, oh, look, so simple. Our ancestor laughed and then cried, and sometimes laughed until ice cream with eyes? Oh, until they shit themselves. Oh, hope their buttholes were okay. Oh, maybe they weren't. somewhat blind in one eye and made faces like, "Wah." Travis makes a winking face emoji with tongue. The audience laughs and whistles. While cracking up, some accidentally snap unflattering photos of themselves. Interior, studio audience area, night. After the show, Travis shakes hands with the audience members and a hand slinks around Travis from behind and presents him with a pen and his book, A Daywalker's Journey. He holds the book, positions the pen, and turns around. Who should I make this out to? A woman, OS. Amara. His gaze lifts, their eyes meet, his face softens, hinting at an instant attraction. He smiles. Fade out, end teaser. So, this joke is very much so Trevor Noah. See, my mind mixes up their names now. I was going to say Trevor Noah instead of Trevor Noah. He actually did make jokes like this, which makes me a little bit concerned of him thinking, oh, it's too similar to me. But I kept hearing people say the voice of the character doesn't sound enough like Trevor Noah. So I was like, okay, how can I make it more like him? So I had to do more research, listen to more of his jokes. So I put jokes that are reminiscent of what he said, but they're also different. And hopefully different enough for him to not be like, hey, because I watched Dulce Sloan, love her. I watched her live and they were talking about someone stealing jokes and how that's just terrible to do. And I'm like, oh gosh, I'm trying to show that this is a parallel reality and that this is his parallel self, but I'm not trying to like, what is the word? That word always goes out of my head when I want to say it. But I'm basically saying when somebody uses copyright, I'm just gonna fucking Google it. Hold on. What is it called when someone steals somebody else's work? Plagiarism. I just remembered it. There we go. So I'm definitely not intending to steal anyone's joke. I'm trying to make this character sound like Trevor Noah, not Trevor Nori, but still put it in my voice and with my jokes. So I still might change these jokes up more in the future, just because, you know, my biggest concern is that he won't like it. Because I've done my best to really cultivate a story that honors him, but also is showcasing my voice. So I'm not going to read more of the script right now, but you can see a little bit of it as I'm scrolling. But that is the teaser. I'm open to hearing what people think. Sometimes my mind was skipping over the words and I mixed them up just because I've changed it so many times and my mind wants to say the words of what it used to be. But also my mind is like, we should change that. So as I'm reading it, my mind keeps saying, change that, edit that. And so that sometimes makes me trip over my words. Anyway, I did it. I shared part of my script. Please comment if you have some feedback. Feedback, good or bad. Bye.